gentlemen, my name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Kaged match, and this is a look at WWE TLC. I'll be honest, this is one of the most divisive pay-per-views I think I've seen. So this is 12-15-19. The pre-show starts out with Andrade taking on Humberto Carrillo. It was a good match, and honestly, in my opinion, one of the better matches that I've seen. The main story with this, again, is Zelina Vega and Andrade, miscommunication. Humberto wins, and then Andrade and Zelina are having kind of a falling out there. So that's kind of what's going on there. Then you hit the main show. Sorry, I'm kind of changing back and forth between screens because I forgot to add the pre-show in my notes. Anyway, moving on to the main show, you have New Day versus the Revival in a ladder match. It was a good show. I think it got people invested. Some of the stuff with the ladder match that you can do is always going to grab people's attention, and you don't necessarily have to be a high flyer to do it. And the Revival, I think, proved that. One really good shot was they had Big E in the corner with his legs spread, and they shoved a ladder into his crotch, and then they both drop kicked the ends of the ladder. Stuff like that, it just looks really good. So it was a good match, very entertaining. At the end of the day, the New Day get the win, so that was cool. Kayla then interviews Baron Corbin. I could give a shit less. Moving on. Buddy Murphy versus Aleister Black. Two guys that are just incredibly talented, having an NXT TakeOver worthy match. I don't know what else to say about it. This was really good. They had some great spots, some great athleticism in it. At the end of the day, it ended with a flurry of moves from both guys that ended in black mass. Aleister Black got the win, and I thought it was great. Absolutely thought that was a great match. Charlie interviews Rusev. Rusev, of course, talking about Bobby Lashley going to wind up with splinters in his back before the night's over. Viking Raiders promo. Then they take on the OC, which ends in a double count out. It was a good match. I really felt like both teams were doing very, very well. Luke Gallows is probably the weak link in this match for me. He's just a big guy who can't move as good as he used to. He's getting up there a little bit, and he's a big guy, and it looks like, it plays hell on his knees sometimes, honestly, if you look the way he walks. And I hate to say that, but, truth being the truth, that is the truth. But otherwise, it was a very good match that had a shitty finish. Then you get Baron Corbin versus Roman Reigns. This was like a no DQ or falls count anywhere kind of match. I forget exactly what the stipulation was. But the long story short was that the Dolph Ziggler and the Revival both come out and help Baron Corbin beat down Roman Reigns, and Baron Corbin gets the win. So it was dumb. Miz versus Bray Wyatt. This match was not that great. It did nothing really to hold my attention. The big story here was Miz trying to beat down Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt laughing throughout the whole match. Bray Wyatt does a Sister Abigail outside the ring, throws Miz inside the ring. Sister Abigail number 2 gets the win. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes Daniel Bryan. At first, he's in a red hoodie. You can't see who he is. Takes the hoodie off. It's Daniel Bryan. He just goes straight through Bray Wyatt. Here's the problem with this. I talked a week or two ago about how they were going to screw up the character of Bray Wyatt here. How they made him invincible, and no matter what they do, it's not going to make sense when they finally get somebody to go over Bray Wyatt. And they already did that. Because there's this guy who feels no pain. He can't, he's a monster that's just unbeatable. Well, here's Daniel Bryan. Suddenly, he can just run right through Bray Wyatt. Made no sense to me. And that, I always said, was going to be a problem, and it turned out to be the case. Then you get Bobby Lashley with Lana versus Rusev in a tables match. The short version here is eventually Lana crawls on Rusev's back while he was winning, starts clawing at his eyes. Bobby Lashley capitalizes, tries to spear him through a table that didn't break, and so he had to take him and throw him through a second table in another corner, and that one broke. So Bobby Lashley gets the win. Corbin reigns in a fight that somehow includes the entire SmackDown roster. Like, they're just in the backstage area fighting, and none of it made sense. It was stupid. They were doing a promo with the Street Profits that, instantly turned into this big fight, and so the Street Profits joined in the fight, and it made no sense. None of it. Then you get Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch versus Asuka and Kairi Sane. Unfortunately, Kairi Sane took a really bad bump to the head somewhere, and you could tell that she was just out of it during this match. It led to a bunch of botches. It led to some really not good spots. Asuka was obviously concerned about her at some point. I don't know that Charlotte Flair knew what was happening entirely, but she was getting really pissed and putting some bumps on Kairi Sane regardless. So, I don't know. People were kind of pissed off about Charlotte Flair not paying more attention to what was actually happening. But, I mean, you don't know. You just don't know what to say on that scenario. So, they closed the show after that match with Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin and the SmackDown roster still in this big fight that has now led into the crowd area somehow. And Roman Reigns spears Baron Corbin off this platform into the rest of the crowd, and I honestly thought it was very clunky the way they finished it. And maybe that's because Kairi Sane got hurt and the last match was kind of bad because of it. Who knows? But whatever the case, I would like to believe that that's actually not the case because they had the roster fight before Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Asuka, and Kairi Sane ever started their match. So it seemed like that was the plan all along, which makes it even worse, to be very honest. So the first couple of matches were very good. Third match, decent match with a shit ending, and then it just went downhill from there. And then you have 4 more matches that just weren't good. So, I mean, if you're rating this pay-per-view, at the end of the day, even though it had an amazing match to start and, well, not to start. It was a great match to start, but an amazing match to follow up in the second match. And I do think that Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black were definitely the highlight of the night. And because of their efforts, the New Day Revival, Aleister Black, Buddy Murphy, I'll give it a 4 out of 10. And that's as far as I can go with it. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the last match in particular, because that was pretty scary at times, I think. You knew that something was wrong with Kairi Sane, and how Charlotte didn't know or didn't care is beyond me. So that's just my thoughts on that. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackwitz, Kaged Nation, out.